Hello, and welcome to Pressing Buttons. I'm Hugo.
I'm Nick.
Another great week, another great episode coming at you. Episode 69. I know everybody's been waiting for it. Well, I've been waiting a long time to say this, but, you know.
Great. Well, what are you actually going to say? You just wanted to say the number, or do you have...
Well, I want to be like, episode 69, and then show everybody how childish I am. This is a me and you podcast.
You've accomplished that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for the support. Make sure you guys are following us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys are going to our website, pressingbuttons.gg. It helps us out, helps the algorithm. Make sure you guys are following us so we can get more exposure, and we appreciate everything. And we're just gonna start right off because there's no other housekeeping.
The only housekeeping we have is our beards are looking...
Yeah, we're looking good.
Pretty tidy.
If you're on video,
it's almost like we planned it today, but that just was not the case.
If you're on video, you're looking at two handsome dudes. If you're on audio, you're listening to two handsome dudes that look good on video.
Yeah.
So whichever way is your preference of hearing us or watching us, we're handsome. And we're going to go right on in. I know the last two episodes, we've had really big episodes. They've been about an hour and 20 minutes. And for a good reason. We had the Summer Games Fest that we wanted to discuss along with the Xbox One. And then we had the Sony PlayStation Showcase, which was also a lot of video games. And we're going to continue the trend, obviously.
Can I hit you up with a multiple choice question?
Yes, go ahead.
Is it pronounced Summer's Game Fest? That's option one. Option two is Summer Games Fest. And option three is Summer Game Fest.
I believe it's the third one, Summer Game Fest, but I will tell you that I think I say it differently every time.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Okay, as long as you know which one's the correct one, and then I don't,
it's just how my mind's thinking. If I'm super like hyped, I'll be like Summer's Games Fest. And I'll throw the S's in there. Oh,
sometimes you got all the S's, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it depends how my mind's thinking. But, yes, Summer Game Fest. But, yeah, those we had all those showcases, which definitely showed off a lot of games. And then the trend continues this week as it's still kind of the not E3 couple weeks of June. And we had Capcom do a showcase, and then Ubisoft did the Ubisoft Forward. As well as Square Enix, they did their own thing for Final Fantasy 16, where they did a couple of showcases. So we'll talk about all of those. We're going to start off with the Capcom Showcase. Obviously, Capcom has had a very, very strong first half of the year, releasing Resident Evil 4, releasing Street Fighter 6 to great acclaim, high ratings and all that. And then just overall, the last couple of years, Capcom has been kind of steady and stable. Oh, they also released Monster Hunter Sunbreak as well. Just, it's not in my conscience because I don't play it. I'm waiting for the next one. But yeah, the last couple of games that they have released have been big hits critically and financially. So they've been really doing well. And they did a showcase just to kind of maybe give a glimpse of the future and also the upcoming future, not so much as the far future. First game we want to talk about, Dragon's Dogma. They closed the showcase showing this one off. Obviously, the Dragon's Dogma, the original one, was kind of a niche kind of game. It had its small amount of fans, but I think it was overall success in terms of the enjoyment of it and the game mechanics and everything that it did. And I know it kind of picked up more steam as the years went by and more people kind of heard about it and picked it up and saw how wonderful of a game it was, obviously, because they're making a part 2. But it's looking great. They showed a cinematic trailer as well with some actual gameplay of you and your pawns, what they call your NPC. They did say, obviously, that the game is not going to support multiplayer, which kind of sucks. You'll only be able to use the pawns that you can create, or if you can pick up pawns from your friends that they create. So that's kind of a bit of a bummer because I can see this game kind of being a great game if you're able to do some multiplayer action with your friends. but I think it still works just because the pawn system worked so well in the first one, and they're bringing it to the second one, and I'm pretty sure it's going to have some major improvements. But the game is looking phenomenal. The RE engine is still killing it. I think it's one of the best engines out there in terms of making the games look really well, and so far the mechanics as well for the games that have been released. What did you think of the Dragon's Dogma trailer?
It's great. Yeah, I think this is probably one of the few things in the Capcom Showcase that we got a little bit more of a glimpse of. I think they basically repeated the trailer from, was it the Xbox show? I don't even. There's so many showcases at this point, but
I think it was the Xbox. Could be wrong.
yeah, it's one of one of the platforms also showed Dragon's Dogma 2, so I think it was the same trailer plus some additional gameplay footage. It looks awesome. I don't know if I have too much more to add than that, other than the RE engine. It knows no limits. It's now going into a fantasy, more of a fantasy role playing game, and it looks great. And then I don't know if I caught. They said that there's no online multiplayer. Is that?
Yeah, no online
forever.
Yeah, just the pawn.
Because I think when we did I think it was the Xbox Showcase, but I think we were like, oh yeah, like this will be a potentially great like online co-op game, because I think the first one was online co-op, right?
No,
it was.
It was still the pawn system. As
I
far
know
as
it was pawns, but I thought you could play. Okay, maybe I just completely misremembered that, but.
Yeah, I read it in an article afterwards when they were talking more about it, and
Okay.
what they're kind of what two things they're bringing from the old game, besides anything new. And the main thing was that there's still no multiplayer, and it's going to be the pawn system because it works so well. So that is a bit of a bummer. I think you and I a bit disappointed in that, but I'm pretty sure it's still going to be a great game.
Yeah, I'm still very excited for the game. I think maybe it's just for not that reason anymore, but yeah.
I mean, also in my defense of this is that I could barely get two people to play Destiny with me. So yeah, I'd rather have some pawns than real humans, because pawns will never be like, I'm doing something else or playing Diablo 4. On to the next one. We got Pragmata, which is a game that they announced, I believe, 2 years ago or something like that during one of the showcases. It's kind of hard to remember, just obviously because Capcom every now and then will throw this curveball of a game, and you kind of either forget about it because they don't talk about it anymore, or it just doesn't appear until it's available for release. But this one is the one with like a person in a full astronaut suit, a la Metal at Kojima Studios statue logo.
Ludens.
Ludens, yeah, with a little girl. It was just mainly CGI. I could definitely see maybe there was a little bit of gameplay in there, but it was just basically an announcement that the game is getting delayed from 2022 into 2020. Well, as well as 2023 into who knows kind of thing. Definitely a very interesting way to kind of announce a delay, but give them props for being creative. I think this game looks good from what it is, and I always have confidence whenever Capcom throws these kind of curveballs, like I said, of different games, something you weren't expecting, or just something new, because they're always looking to try new IPs. Still looking out for Deep Down that got announced like 7 years ago or whatever. But yeah, I can't wait to see more of this, and obviously I think they really they're really confident in this IP, just because to get like a delayed trailer is a very big step from Capcom. Anything you'd like to add to this one?
Yeah, just very, +1 to it being a very creative way to announce a delay. I think that's the first time I've ever seen it actually be like in the trailer footage, as opposed to it just being like a screen of text that has a release date or saying sorry, it's coming later than everyone thought. So I thought that was cool. I just think it looks really cool. Like it looks. Yeah, the main character has a similar look to Ludens, who's the mascot for Kojima Studios. Even the very brief gameplay footage that they showed, it even kind of looked like it was like the animation or something. Kind of reminded me of Death Stranding, like the way the character was kind of like running around. So So I'm on board with that. I'm on board with things that kind of look like Kojima games, even though they're not necessarily from him. So
Yeah, if you had no description in terms of titles for Death Stranding or Ludens and this, you would definitely think they're the same kind of game just because it's aesthetically it's kind of the same.
I think even when they did the reveal trailer, which who know, I have no idea how long ago that was or where it even was. But I think when I was like, while I was watching it, I was like, oh, is this the next thing from Kojima Studios or Kojima Productions? And it's Capcom.
Yeah, Capcom being Capcom.
Yeah.
Then next one, Apollo Justice, the Ace Attorney trilogy. This one is basically a bundle pack of Ace Attorney 3, 4, and 5, which featured Apollo Justice, which is a younger lawyer, but also Phoenix Wright. I'm kind of excited for this. I do have the original Ace Attorney trilogy, the first bundle pack with 1, 2, and 3 in there. I do like these type of games, especially the outrageousness of it, of these kind of animated court battles and the hilarious jokes and stuff like that. So I might pick this one up. Definitely, it's one of those things where I could put it in my catalog and pick up every now and then and just solve a case or whatever and enjoy it. Any interest in Apollo Justice?
Not really. I know this is a fan favorite series, and a lot of people were excited about this announcement. I think some people were even like, that was the highlight of the show for them was this announcement. So I get it. I think I own one of the games on like the 3DS. I think that's when they first started coming out, right? It was a 3DS or just the DS or
the the one was the DS, then 3DS.
Yeah. So I think I have one of the games, but I just I kind of like bought into the hype of it. It just wasn't for me. Like I just I get why people like it. I just didn't really get into it. I just don't really like reading that much, and it's just I don't think that game concept's just for me.
Damn, can't watch movies with subtitles with you, I guess, then.
No, I actually exclusively watch movies with subtitles, but that's because that's more driven by my partner than me.
Gotcha. All right, next game that they announced is the Exoprimal beta. That one's going to be from June 16th to the 18th, which is basically this weekend. You'll be able to play some more Exoprimal. And they also showed the roadmap as well as the Battle Pass. This is definitely looking very interesting. This is like totally a Hugo game where it's just like random enough for me to be interested in it and cool enough with the characters you can play as and the robots or whatever and the classes where I'm like, ooh, this is fun and it looks cool. And Capcom is obviously like a very big proponent of that, especially since they showed off the Ryu and Guile. Was it Ryu and Guile or Ryu and Guile robot skins for these robots the other day. I'm excited for this. I think I'm gonna hop into the beta just because I know it's more expansive than the last one that they had. It is coming out for Game Pass, so props to you who has Game Pass. For me, I will support the studio and pay the full $60 or $70.
I'm still supporting the studio, just not as much as you are.
Yeah, I'm a super supporter, so I'll let them know whenever I see a Capcom representative.
Because it's going to be on Game Pass, I'm probably going to skip. I'll probably skip the beta because I played the prior one. I had a good time. I don't know if I need more of that. I'd rather just wait for the full release, and then also, I think we'll talk more about this later. But Final Fantasy 16 comes out on Thursday, and there's no chance I'll make time for playing the beta for this. So
yeah, priorities.
Yeah.
Next game that they talked about is Ghost Trick. Obviously, this is another kind of a remake of a previous DS title involving a guy that gets killed and you're his ghost and you're finding out why he got killed or whatever. This releases June 30th. Not much to say on this one. I like the presentation. I love the producer, the creator, who is also the creator of Ace Attorney. He seemed really motivated by it. He did say, "I hope you guys buy the game because that means we can make another one." So if this is your type of game, I would definitely recommend it. It looks pretty fun.
No, you correctly just didn't even ask if I had any input on that.
Moving on.
Moving on. Yeah.
Next game they showcased was Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess. This one we talked about because they did show a brief trailer during the Xbox showcase. This one was a bit of the same trailer. It did seem like it had more extensive gameplay footage and a longer cinematic. It still looks great. I think this is definitely something that's right up my alley. Still no release date or information, so we'll probably see something more towards the end of the year, maybe during TGS or something like that, where we know Capcom has a big presence. So I'm hoping to definitely get more information on this game, and I do want to talk about the uniqueness of it, or just the way Capcom approaches this, but I want to kind of save it until after the next segment as well, just so I can combine the two. Did you see this one? Did you see more of it that you liked?
Well, I don't think they showed much more, if anything, versus what was shown at the Xbox one, right?
No, yeah, it wasn't like a major amount, but there was definitely it's a bit longer trailer, I think it was.
Okay. Well, if I wasn't able to like figure out the difference, then maybe I don't think it was enough to. I don't know. Either way, like it still looks good. I would have maybe liked to see like a little bit more gameplay and maybe some kind of explanation around what the hell is actually going on. But I'm still I'm very interested in this game. It looks pretty cool.
All right, and then the last game that we want to talk about is Mega Man X Dive Online, which is just basically a mobile game, which, I hate. But Mega Man, I like. This one is kind of basically like a mashup of all Mega Mans. You can play as over 900 characters. You can make your own characters. You can basically mix and match, customize like the parts from all Mega Man characters that you would like. So that seems pretty cool. I just hate mobile games, and Capcom doesn't have a good track record.
Yeah, what's the last mobile game you played?
It was the Fire Emblem one for mobile that Nintendo made, yeah. But then I got
like bored. Heroes? I think it's Heroes, yeah.
But then I was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the same. The most recent one I played was the Street Fighter one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Which was just like abysmal.
It looked good. Like the character sprites look good. That's why I thought it was interesting. But then you told me it sucked. Capcom doesn't really have a good track title for mobile games, but the Japanese market is very big for mobile, so I can see why they're kind of pushing this. Just not in my book. I know you're a big Mega Man fan. You have the X Buster.
I have a Mega Buster, yeah.
Yeah, the Mega Buster, my bad. Any interest in this at all?
I can't. Well, yeah, the reason I asked you about when's the last time you played a mobile game, like I just can't do it. Like, for someone who plays so many games and for someone who uses my phone so much, you think that I would just be like crushing mobile games all the time. Like, I can't do it. Like, it's just not for me. There's no... I've even tried if there's like a title that looks kind of interesting. I've even tried like emulating Android on my desktop computer so that you can still play it, but it's just like not worth it. So it's not for me. The only real mobile games I play, I guess, are the MiHoYo games, which are are arguably mobile games, but they have a desktop version for it as well. So, Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, there's mobile versions of those. I just never play them. I just only play it on my desktop.
Yeah, and they're mostly automated as well, so I think that makes it easier, but that does kind of deprive you of the joy of actually playing it. So it's a weird concept. This will be available for iOS, Android, and Steam. So who knows? Maybe it'll be a hit on Steam. We'll see. All right, we're going to move on to the Ubisoft showcase, which is called the Ubisoft Forward, before we circle back and kind of give our thoughts on both showcases overall. The first big game that we want to talk about, Star Wars Outlaws. Obviously, this was their big one. They saved it for the end. They showed off, I believe, 10 minutes of gameplay footage. Overall, this looks great. You know, Nick knows, you guys know from hearing the show what my love hate for Star Wars is. I do enjoy the Jedi every now and then, but I feel like with how expansive the world is and so many stories that you could tell, I don't like that sometimes they focus on the Jedi's too much. And this is definitely the game that I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some Jedi shit in there, but it does seem like it's kind of focusing on the underbelly of Star Wars, of the the heist and the smugglers and all that stuff. It starts a new character with a droid. The droid everybody has the hots for. He looks cool, not gonna lie. I need one of those trench coats. But it's gonna be basically a very involved heist game where you do a lot of small jobs or small heists to kind of lead up to a big heist at the end, from what I'm hearing, and it looks great. The gameplay that they showed off was very diverse. They showed some sneaking action, then some combat action, then riding what's the speeders? Is it a speeder? Is that what they're called?
Speeders?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Speeders, writing the speeders, then dialogue choices, whether to bribe the imperial officer or not, and stuff like that. So it's definitely interesting. It is being developed by Ubisoft Massive, who do the Division. They're very good with the expansive worlds. Obviously, we know from the Division 1 in New York City and then the Division 2 in Washington, all like how expansive they can be and how detailed they can be. So I'm super excited for that. They did say this is going to be like the first open world Star Wars, which you can't really take that at face value, because I think like Jedi Survivor's kind of open world, and Lego was open world and all that stuff. But I get what they mean, where like you're just going to have big sections of worlds.
It's Ubisoft open world.
Yeah,
they didn't show the map because it probably would have pissed everyone off. But
too many icons.
It's 400 icons. You can't tell what any of it is.
What are your thoughts on this? Because I know you texted me like, I think this was obviously you're a Ubisoft hater. No, that's a joke. But I think this was the thing you were most excited about. You were super hyped about this, and I don't see you getting too hyped often about Star Wars stuff unless it's Mandalorian.
Well, Star Wars stuff, and then also Ubisoft stuff. So, if you were to tell me Ubisoft's making a Star Wars game, like I literally was not interested at all until I saw this trailer. And when I saw the trailer, I think I texted you guys. I was just like, "Whoa! Like, what's going on?" And I was like, "This." I think I said like, "This looks too good to be true," or something like that. So, really impressive showcase. I still think it's too good to be true. Like I think this is definitely, they call them bull shots. Like I think there's something going on here where like I just don't trust Ubisoft with how they pull together marketing materials. So once I actually play the game myself, I'll be able to confirm or deny whether it actually is what they showed in this trailer. But if I were to give them the benefit of the doubt, like that was a super impressive, probably like one of the more impressive trailers that we've seen in the last few weeks. And as a Star Wars fan, I don't know, that's probably like the coolest representation of, doing a heist or, whatever, and then escaping, and then like getting to your your ship and going out into space, and then having a dog, like all of that happening seamlessly was pretty cool. And if like that's actually what it delivers, that would be like very impressive. I think I saw a headline from somewhere, one of the game sites. I think someone made the comment of like, "Oh yeah, this is the game that Starfield's trying to be," or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know if it's exactly the same, but I kind of see where they're coming from. And it looked like this was running at a reasonable frame rate too. So unlike Starfield.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it is one of the most impressive ones. It's definitely one of those where like it's a wait and see approach. We got to see more of it. Obviously, they are promising a 2024 release date, but we don't even know the exact time frame for that in 2024. But the characters are cool. K-Vest, new character. She seems pretty feisty little Han Solo in there. ND5, the droid definitely looks cool. And then you got Nyx. Obviously, you gotta have a little Star Wars pet that
You
you
gotta have the
understand.
pet.
Yeah, that you don't that
You gotta have the cute pet.
only you can understand, even though it's speaking a different language. But
Yeah.
I have full confidence in this. Obviously, it's the only real. Well, besides the next game, it's the only other. I feel like whole new original kind of IP that Ubisoft is showing, and they're putting a lot of money behind this. Obviously, the Star Wars IP is a very big one, and you want to take care of it, especially if you want Lucas Arts to let you use it. With this and whatever Amy Hennig is working on for EA, that's definitely like we can have two big action adventure Star Wars in the same year. So we'll see on that. All right. Next big game that they talked about is Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. They had James Cameron show up in there. You know, James Cameron, big guy, likes to talk about his stuff, likes to talk about Avatar and how great it is and all that stuff. So he came in there. He talked about the partnership and all that. They showed off some gameplay. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, overall, I'm not like a big Avatar fan. I do enjoy the beauty of it. It's such a great looking movie, but I don't feel like the story is that great. It's very unoriginal to me. So I don't think that's appealing. Sorry, James Cameron. And now it's kind of transformed into a video game, and I think it kind of loses the uniqueness of it, because now it just looks like a random shooter, because you're over here getting weapons and shooting them, bows and arrows and stuff like that. It just, to me, looks like very generic. I know what they're trying to go for, to feel like you're in Pandora, but it didn't do anything for me. It didn't hype up my anticipation for it. I feel the same way I felt before I saw the trailer, which is nothing. Any thoughts on this? Are you like a big Avatar guy?
I felt nothing. I think I'm pretty much the same as you. Like, I just don't care about this franchise at all. Watching the first Avatar and movie in theaters, like during its first run, was I just like didn't. I was like, I don't get this. Like, why is there so much hype around this movie? I think back then it was positioned as more of like a technical showcase of like, wow, look, this is like a stunning movie, and I think 3D was like.
Yeah, did you watch it in 3D?
I don't remember.
Yeah, because I think that's what it was. Like, you had to watch it in 3D, which I didn't. I watched it after it came out on release.
Yeah.
So maybe
and you know, so it's like I just didn't care for the first movie at all, and then the second movie came out somewhat recently, and it was like crushing at the box office. But I just had like zero interest in watching that. I just don't really care about the world, at all. I think I know it's like very, vivid and, trying to be pretty looking, but like, I just don't like the aesthetic at all. So yeah, when I saw the game, I was just like, it's going to be a hard pass for me unless it's like some insanely fun game that they can kind of create in spite of it being, based on it being Avatar. But yeah, not too much to get me excited here. And I should also mention that really for the whole Ubisoft Showcase, it debuted at the same time that I had downloaded the Final Fantasy 16 demo. So I was very much prioritizing playing the demo as opposed to watching the showcase. So I had like, so there was a bit of like second screen effect on the Ubisoft where I like wasn't 100% paying attention to it. And then when I saw that it was Avatar, I'm just like, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, this is definitely, I think it's very exclusive, whoever wants to play this and whoever actually will enjoy this. But it's not for us doesn't mean it's not for you. So if you guys liked it, let us know. We'll take your word for it. Next game they showcased was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This one, I already said I was excited when I saw it at the Xbox Showcase, and I think I got more excited when I saw it on the Ubisoft Forward, just because they showed off obviously more of the Metroidvania aspect of it, the 2D side scroller aspect of it, and they also showed the powers, which you can rewind time, you can use clones that you kind of leave behind and stuff like that. They showed off some characters. The art style is very unique. The world is very unique. Definitely using a lot of the 2D aspect of it to do kind of some 3D things on it. So I'm more excited now than I was before. I think this is definitely something that I'll probably get, because it'll be probably a short game, but like a fun action game. I know you weren't too hyped about it when I was talking about it for the Xbox Showcase. Did your thoughts change about it, or what do you feel?
Nah, pretty much the same.
Is it because it's a Metroidvania and you're kind of sick of those, or it's Prince of Persia and you're kind of don't care about it?
I think Metroidvanias, it's such a crowded market for those. So it really needs to be something, unique and differentiated. And for me, it's like Prince of Persia, and I think we talked about this before. Like I went all the way back to whatever computer version, so like the first game is like what I played, and some of the subsequent versions. So I'm very familiar with this franchise. I don't know. I think a lot of people think about, was it the Sands of Time? Was it, I think, the first big one with like the
with the powers
time reversal?
one.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people think about that as kind of the first entry in the franchise, so to speak. But I don't know. I'm not really big on this franchise. I don't like that they've made it look way too much like Fortnite.
It's just an art style, man. The art style was before Fortnite. It'll be here after Fortnite.
It doesn't matter. It looks like if you can like just copy and paste the avatar into Fortnite and it would look totally in place, then like that's not cool. So I guess does that answer your question? Like,
yes, that answered my question.
Just not at all interested. I don't know. And like Metroidvanias, like that is one of my favorite, like that genre. Some of my favorite games are in that genre, but I feel like I've been getting less excited about anytime there's a new one coming out, just because I feel like it's kind of getting to a place where it's kind of a pretty tired game.
Yeah, I think you are right, but on my end, the reason I'm not too tired of it, I think it's because I don't fully invest in a lot of the Metroidvanias when they come out. I believe the last one I actually did play was, the last Metroidvania I played was Metroid, and before that it was Ori and the Will of the Wisp. So I kind of try to space them enough where, they don't feel like too repetitive or whatever. So depending on when this comes out, I know obviously the next what's the name? Silksong?
Hollow Knight.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Silksong. Everyone, that's like, it's become like a running joke where everyone's just, I don't know if you look at the chats in any of these, like as these game showcases are going on, like people are like 50% of the comments are people spamming Silksong. So everyone wants to, I think that's probably the next big one for a lot of people.
Yeah, so depending on the timing of this and Silksong, whenever it gets announced for release, then, I could either do this one and then do Silksong, or I could do Silksong and then this one. So definitely it's on my radar, even if it's not on yours. All right, next couple games is a couple of Assassin's Creed games. They showed off Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay, which is their next big mainline Assassin's Creed game. They also did Assassin's Creed Nexus, which is a VR version of Assassin's Creed, which is going to feature Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2, Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. And then the last thing was Assassin's Creed Codename J, which is a mobile game. which you'll be able to customize your assassin and customize how they look and also what weapons they have. Main thoughts overall on Assassin's Creed, kind of, it's an afterthought. Something that was such a heavy Ubisoft franchise, something that I think they put so much money into it and so much work into it, and it was kind of their big hitters. I feel like now it's kind of taking a backseat just because the last couple entries, I wouldn't say they've been disappointing, but they haven't been innovative and well received as the earlier ones in terms of fun and enjoyment. So with this one, with Mirage especially, I do like that they're going back to the original sense of stealth and assassinations and all that stuff, and you can still do the combat. I just saw a little bit of gameplay that they showed, obviously, so I don't know if that will be enough to kind of bring everybody back. I think the perfect mix is obviously the stealth stuff, because that's what made it cool and innovative when it first got released as a new IP, but also the action combat also kind of brought it up. I just think it's gone too far into the RPG action numbers and perks and all that stuff kind of thing. So that's kind of weird. I don't know where they're going forward with this. The VR stuff, kind of cool. I don't have VR, but it did seem interesting to me, especially these three characters from very, very well-received Assassin's Creed games. So those look exciting. And then the Codename Jade, disappointed in that one, just because since it got announced, I thought it was going to be like a mainline Assassin's Creed game set in China or something like that, where you'll finally be able to be a samurai and all that, or a ninja. You'll be able to do ninja stuff. And no, it's a stupid mobile game. What? I don't want a mobile game. So disappointed in that. Assassin's Creed, you've disappointed me a little bit. I don't know how I feel about this. What about you? I know.
I mean, if you have doubts around the future of Assassin's Creed, just imagine how I feel, because I've been pretty down on this franchise for a while. I don't even. What was the most recent one I played? It was.
Didn't you get the Vikings free?
Yeah, the
when
Vikings
you bought
one. Yeah,
when you bought like a graphics card or something.
Exactly. Yeah, it was because it was either the GPU or I think it was the CPU actually. So I think I got it for free. Was it Valhalla, right?
Yeah, Valhalla.
Yeah. I just kind of played it for a few hours, just running around and like hitting shit. But then you just kind of get bored. Like the combat's like so bad, and it's just yet another Ubisoft game where it's just like, oh, here's 5,000 icons on a map, and so that's just not for me. So I think there was trying to be optimistic, because I know Ubisoft just brings out the worst in me. But I don't know when was this? I feel like something happened recently where they're almost kind of like, it was like, I don't know if reset's the right word, but they kind of wanted to like get Assassin's Creed back on the right track. And
it was last year. Last year they were like, "Hey, we're gonna release." They took a break last year,
and then they announced like how many projects? It was like so many Assassin's Creed projects.
Three projects: Jade, Mirage, and I think Nexus is the other one. But these projects are all. I'm not gonna say they're shit because I haven't played them. But
I guess that's my point. Like I was like not really even paying attention during the showcase and was kind of tuning out. So the fact that you're pretty down on what you saw doesn't really bode well for the future of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, if this is what you're writing, this is what you're betting your Assassin's Creed future, it's not a good one. I know there's been issues with the studio, with the harassment and the studio leads doing a lot of weird shit and just being bad bosses and stuff like that. But you need to right the ship. I feel like it's such a good franchise. I mean, it's a different franchise.
That's a great segue to Skull and Bones in terms of needing to ride the ship.
Yeah, so the next one being Skull and Bones. They announced the beta for August 25th through the 28th. Still no release date. It's still kind of indefinitely delayed. I think maybe in September. I don't know. They have some guys up there doing a sea shanty, which Cool. I like sea shanties, especially when they're done right. I was a big fan of Assassin's Creed Black Flag and the sea shanties that were there, but this game is still. What is this, man? Every time I feel like we talk about this game, I always say the same thing. This is unnecessary. What is this? What are you doing? Just kill it. Kill it dead.
I love that the emphasis was on the sea shanty, and they just kind of had some like random game footage behind them, and that was it.
They're trying to bring a sea shanty TikTok back, which is a big thing. But yeah, this is another one. It's kind of like they I don't know what they're doing. I know they want to be innovative and they want to try new things, and I like that approach of Ubisoft. They always come out with like 2 or 3 games where people are like, "Oh, this is weird," but it satisfies a group. But I just think they're trying to do too much, and you're not satisfying anybody, or you're disappointing everybody. So this news and the Assassin's Creed news, not for me, man. Not for me.
I like that might be that's a good T-shirt catchphrase.
Which one?
You're not pleasing anybody, so you're disappointing everybody, or something like that.
D-Pass, get on that. All right. Next thing we want to talk about is The Crew Motorfest. This is one of their big franchises, The Crew, where it's a racing game. It looks pretty good. Not much to say on that. We're not big racing guys, except like I was a big Need for Speed Underground guy, kind of Burnout Paradise kind of guy. So I think we're good on that one.
Yeah, I really have no comments on anything else that happened at Ubisoft Forward.
Okay, so then I'll just skim through the last couple things.
Yeah.
Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix, new animated show. I do like this just because I met the guy who presented it, the producer, one of the producers, at New York Comic Con, so that was pretty cool. So, and I did like the Blood Dragon kind of expansion for Far Cry, so that's definitely going to be interesting to see when that comes out. Then we got X Defiant, which is a new multiplayer first-person shooter that they have. I heard a lot of good things in the first beta. They're having a beta June 21st through the 23rd. It is releasing in the summer. I'll wait and see because I couldn't get in the first one, but I heard it was really fun. So this one's an open one, so I want to get on this one. And then The Division Resurgence, which is a mobile game based on The Division. This will be releasing fall 2023. You guys know how I feel about mobile games. You guys know how I feel about The Division. There's no need to have a mobile game. You already have The Division. Fix The Division. Fuck the mobile game. All right.
Damn. Then you said the team who was doing the console version of The Division is focusing on Outlaws.
On Outlaws, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, man.
I think that kind of answers your question on what to expect from The Division.
These studios are getting stretched thin.
Yeah.
All right. So since we wrapped up both showcases, the Capcom Showcase and the Ubisoft Forward, the question I wanted to pose is, who do you see going forward? Who do you see taking a step back? Obviously, I think with all our things, we kind of know who that is. I'll say this. I do like Capcom's approach. I've always liked Capcom's approach the last couple of years. They've definitely taken a lot of different creative choices, and I think a lot of them mostly have worked. Obviously, every now and then something won't be a hit or whatever, but I like their creative choices. You can see from everything that they kind of announced so far and that they're going forward that they want to honor their old franchises, but also bring new franchises. Case in point, I think the Path of the Goddess I wasn't expecting that. I think that was a very different type of game that nobody was ready for, but they were like, hey, we're making this game. Also with the Pragmata, I know it got delayed to whenever, but that's a different type of game. You got Exo Primal as well, different type of game. And obviously with the RE engine, it's doing very well. With all the other franchises, obviously Street Fighter 6 doing very well, Resident Evil 4 doing very well. I think that has definitely helped them a lot to just be more creative and make different type of games. Where in turn, you have Ubisoft, which I feel like was just like Capcom, but that was 6, 7 years ago, where they were taking the big shots, doing new franchises with Watch Dogs and all sorts of things and things like that. But now they're kind of leaning too much on their old franchises, and it's hurting them a lot because they're not doing anything innovative. I feel like the same way I feel for any sports game where they don't really change much every year. Same with Call of Duty. They don't really change much every year. That's what I feel like Assassin's Creed has gotten to, which is one of their biggest franchises, and it's just very disappointing to see. I know there's a lot of stuff that they're working on, Splinter Cell wise, Division wise. They're trying to do stuff, but the only thing really that has caught my eye for Ubisoft going forward is just the Star Wars Outlaws. So I think it's just you see two different companies going different ways, and I just want to see them succeed. I want everybody to succeed. What do you think?
Should be Ubisoft backward, right?
Damn it, I don't have that bad womp sound. I would have put it there.
Yeah, I think well, I don't know if your question's more like just the pipeline of games and whether you're excited, or specifically how each of these publishers just made use of this time and the showcases. Because
I think the pipeline, because obviously the showcases weren't like crazy for both of them because they didn't really announce too much.
Yeah, no, I think that was like one thing as I was going through this that kind of just, which I don't think is a new question, but I think we just have increasingly more evidence around, does every games company need their own showcase? And I think the answer is like probably not. Like I think there's going to be, kind of more evolution of like how information is shared with fans. Like, so for example, with the Capcom one really not having really anything new that like wasn't already shown at some of the platform ones. I think there was like a couple of announcements for some games and maybe like a little bit more footage, but there wasn't anything like earth shattering coming out of the Capcom showcase. And so I think a lot of people were actually like, disappointed by it because of that. So no, it just kind of raises this question of like, is it on the platform to do all the work? Is it on the publisher? These other, there's, by the way, like there's probably like 4 or 5 other showcases that we like didn't even talk about that are really emphasizing indie games and all that. So like we didn't even get into that. So it's just kind of becoming now I think there's like too many things to try to keep track of in terms of not E3. So I don't know. So I think there's that. But in terms of the pipeline, like I think like Capcom's been crushing it. I'm very excited about several of these titles that they had in their showcase. I think the one we're most looking forward to, which maybe we were overly optimistic to think that they would talk about it, but it's the next installment in Monster Hunter. So, maybe I don't know if it's Gamescom or Tokyo Game Show or something else, but maybe we'll learn more about Monster Hunter, or maybe some other big new, game that Capcom's got in the works. For Ubisoft, like they're in the doghouse, man. Like they've just been. It's to me, it's like their future almost solely like sits on like Outlaws, and if Outlaws crushes it, maybe they can build some momentum to like try to figure out what the hell else to do with the rest of the company. But there's really just like nothing exciting here. I think Avatar is going to probably be a stinker, would be my guess. I think the Prince of Persia game actually gets probably pretty, like I think it ends up being like a pretty solid game. It's just not for me, but I think it'll end up being a solid title. It's just
but it's still not a big.
It's not going to be this like big wave. So to me, it's like it's Outlaws. It's like if that game sucks, like Ubisoft is just going to be screwed.
Maybe Skull and Bones will surprise you.
No, dude, there's no way.
No, but
I think even they know that the game sucks.
They know it sucks, so they haven't even announced when it's getting released. It's just indefinite. demos and shit.
Hey, how about we just have some people play some music on stage and we'll show the game behind them, and that's our update.
Yeah, give them an idea that there is a game coming, maybe.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. It's definitely a different sort of day and age in terms of the showcases. Obviously, E3, they didn't do it last year. This is the first, I feel like, real year where we definitely know it wasn't going to happen. So a lot of the publishers and developers have been kind of scrambling to do their own thing and kind of set the schedule. Obviously, you don't want to release everything or announce everything at the beginning of the year, but you also don't want to leave your fans and customers hanging until the end of the year because you want them to see things. So it's definitely, I think this is a year where everybody's getting kind of situated and kind of seeing of when they're going to be doing the showcases and stuff like that. Obviously, with Capcom, we'll probably see something for TGS and the Game Awards, and then Ubisoft, I can only see them doing something for the Game Awards, maybe announcing a thing or two. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see the end of the year for somebody like Ubisoft that didn't really leave an impression on anybody. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Next topic we want to talk about is a demo, and not just any demo. This is one of the biggest demos that we've been hyped about in a while. So it's Final Fantasy 16, ladies and gentlemen. Final Fantasy 16. So Square Enix announced during their little Final Fantasy 16 showcase where they had Yoshi P and the composers and directors and producers of Final Fantasy 16. They announced that they were releasing the Final Fantasy 16 demo early morning on PlayStation 5. Nick and I got hands on it. In my opinion, and we'll get Nick's in a second, wow. Just wow. Like I said, we haven't really been super hyped about a demo in a while. Yeah, if there's a demo, we'll play it if it's interesting enough or we have nothing going on. But this one was definitely one that we have been looking forward to for a while. We thought it was going to be released earlier than this week, but it didn't. But I'm glad we got something. I played the 2 hours of it, of the main baseline, which will carry over into the main game. And then I also played the other part, which is just like an icon battle where it's a little bit more advanced in the story, and you have more abilities unlocked for the icons, so you can kind of see the combat system better, but not too much where like it'll spoil anything. It's just combat and a little bit more of it. And I'm pretty sure in the full game release, it'll be even a broader combat. So really enjoyed it. The story's definitely more mature. I want to say I don't think I've seen so many people explicitly killed in a Final Fantasy game before. Not saying that people don't get killed in Final Fantasy. I'm just saying I feel like I know everybody that got killed in Final Fantasy 16 demo as opposed to everything else that I didn't really think about, like in Shinra blowing up and all that stuff. I didn't think about all those people. Final Fantasy 16, I kind of was like, oh man, all those people died. So very mature. I like the way it's going. Obviously, they're going for a more Game of Thrones. I know Yoshi P said that he had a lot of the development team watch Game of Thrones to get kind of that vibe. So it's telling a more mature story, I think, of any of these Final Fantasy. So that's pretty exciting. The combat itself, pretty freaking awesome. The combat director, I forget his name. I'm pretty sure Nick knows it, but I think he did a great job. He did say in an interview that this is like his masterpiece. Yeah, his masterpiece. So that instills confidence, and I can definitely say it's one of the better handling action games that I've had, especially when you can switch and do so many things with different abilities. Your thoughts on the demo?
Demo is wow. I like that. Your opinion is wow.
Nick, wow.
Yeah, I think I was thinking like this has to be the best demo ever. Can you think of a better demo? And this is coming. It wasn't that long ago. Like the RE4 remake demo was awesome. Like that was like so fun. But I think this is just kind of different, right? Because it's a new game. They have a lot to like establish with the characters and the story and the theme and the so it's like there's just so much newness to it, and I think they just executed it so well with the first couple hours of the story. the just like the cliffhanger, which we don't need to get into spoilers or whatever, but like it kind of ends on this insane cliffhanger, and it's so insane because I think the story and the characters, they just like they pull it off so well in such a short amount of time. The voice acting and the writing is it made like unbelievable. You can definitely see the Game of Thrones influence. It's I'm guessing all British voice actors. Yoshi P also said that he's basically asking the Japanese audience to just listen to it in English with Japanese subtitles, because like all of the lip syncing and stuff is aligned to English. So I think that kind of gives you a sense how important it was to have that European fantasy vibe to it. So yeah, I can't think of I think it sets a new bar in demos. I love that it's story and then the progression carries over, which maybe you've picked up on that about me, where I've been very particular around demos and whether anything carries over. And if nothing carries over, then I'm like, it's almost like never worth it to me. So, and then I haven't even tried the second mode, which is really focused on the combat system. But I think it's great that that's an option if people just want to play around with it and experiment and do all that. Like I was good to just wait until the full game comes out, but it's cool that it's there for people who want it. So yeah, absolutely pumped. I think it's getting tons of positive feedback from basically everyone, the media, influencers, you name it. So I think they kind of knocked it out of the park with this demo. I was already going to pre-order the game, but after as soon as the demo's over, I'm like, I gotta, actually order the thing, and kind of got me in that mindset. So I think that's it. And then also I have to mention the music is just unreal, and this is only the first couple hours of the game, and it's the same guy who does all the music for Final Fantasy 14. So I think a lot of people had really high expectations with what he would do with his first crack at a mainline Final Fantasy game, and I think he's going to nail it for sure, just based on what we've listened to so far.
Yeah, he definitely. I saw the panel that he did for the Square Enix Final Fantasy 16 showcase, and he definitely was really into it. Like I could see his passion, and it just sounded amazing. So we'll link all of the showcases and this on the notes, so you guys can check it out if you want to. But going back to what you said, I can't remember the greatest demo I've ever played, because I don't really play demos like you said, and these days, they mostly release demos after games are out, so people could buy them. They don't really do early like this, unless they do like a beta or something. But it is one of the best ones I've ever played, and definitely, I know there was some rumors or whatever it was that people were writing that Square Enix was worried that maybe they weren't going to sell a lot because the pre-orders weren't there or whatever. Yeah. I don't know how much
numbers weren't meeting expectations or something like that.
I don't know how much I believe that, because just because you don't pre-order a game doesn't mean people aren't going to buy it. Like I don't pre-order games; I just buy them when they're out.
I wasn't on their count yet, and I already knew I was buying the game.
Yeah, so
I think it's because there's probably so many people that have. They just know they're buying the game, and so they don't even didn't get around to it. Yeah.
If there's any franchise that you can be confident that even if you don't see pre-orders, people are going to buy it, it's this one. So I mean, just the amazing word of mouth. I think this is going to take the path of Elden Ring, where Elden Ring was for a small group of people kind of thing, and then just because of how amazing it was, more people started buying it, and it did gangbusters more than they thought that they would. But this one, because it's Final Fantasy and actually more people are aware of it, I think it'll be even crazier. So, props to them, and props to PlayStation for securing them exclusives. And maybe we'll see you in a year when Nick buys it again for PC.
I don't know. Well, so I was actually that was something I wanted to raise because I kind of just went into fanboy mode and said everything positive. The only issue with the demo was and it seems like there's very mixed feedback on this, but unfortunately for me, I was one of the people that was having some frame rate issues, even when I was playing in performance mode. It seems like not everyone had that.
Yeah, we had this discussion, and I didn't have the issue.
Yeah,
But I know,
so
but like you said, I know some people did.
yeah. So I've definitely seen people talking about it, and so yeah. So my hope is like that just gets fixed for the full release and isn't something to worry about. I'm not overly worried about it. I feel like with Final Fantasy VII Remake on PlayStation, like I was playing on PS4 Pro, but that was basically ran perfectly. So I have high hopes for the performance for this.
Yeah, there's
And
gonna be
even
a day one patch, so I think it'll probably fix a lot of those issues.
yeah, and I feel like with PS5 and VRR, the gains of like a PC version are pretty marginal now. So like I think I'm probably done with the like immediately buy on PlayStation and then buy it a year later for better performance. So there would need to be like meaningful additional content or something.
We'll see. We'll see. Yoshi P saying they didn't want to fuck it up, and they wanted to put all their resources on developing it for one system, one console first.
I mean, good for him. I mean, I feel like that's the right way to do it, particularly when someone will pay you. Not only pay, like I'm sure Sony paid money for that, but then also they were offering up development resources as well. So, that's a good situation to be in if you're a developer.
Yeah. Well, if there's one thing we know about gamers is that they'll buy a game multiple times for no reason at all.
Yep.
All right. So that does it for our topics. Definitely a big naughty 3 with a lot of showcases, some new stuff, some old stuff, some never before seen stuff, some stuff we've seen. So definitely a lot of interesting stuff. Make sure you hit us up on our Discord.
That's you described every type of stuff.
All
the stuff. Yeah.
Make sure you jump in on our Discord. You can get the link through our website, pressingbuttons.gg, and let us know what you think. Let us know what you guys found best, what you enjoyed the most, and what you enjoyed the least. It's mostly going to be probably Ubisoft stuff, but we'll take it. And we're going to move on to some closing thoughts, and I'll start it off. Liza P. So they announced the Liza P demo during the Xbox Showcase, which is also going to be on Game Pass. So good for you, Nick. So I played the demo. Definitely was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I thought it was just going to be another Soulsborne type games, kind of a copy, nothing cool about it, not very innovative, but I do enjoy those type of games, so that's why I downloaded it. But I was very surprised by how well it combined a lot of some of the best Ubisoft, some of the best FromSoft games that they've made, like Sekiro and Dark Souls and Bloodborne. I think the pairing's there, but it's not too aggressive where you hate it. The punish for attacking is there from Bloodborne, which is really cool. And then the Dark Souls combat with parrying and dodging and just the damage and stuff like that. So I think this is going to be a surprise hit. I really enjoyed it. I know we talked about it during game night. You're not going to play the demo because it's going to be on Game Pass. So you'll probably play it when it releases, which is good. I think you'll definitely enjoy it. It's definitely one of those games that's right up our alley in terms of the ones we like. Next game is Jedi Survivor. Kind of got back on that train. I know I played like the first level, and then I think Destiny came out or something, and I wanted to finish Hogwarts or something. I don't know. But I was kind of bored, and I was like, let me play some more Jedi Survivor. So I played more of that, and I'm still on the first level. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's the first level, I had said before when I had played the not the first level, the second level, the second planet. I know I had said before that I did the first planet and it was okay, but I think going on the second planet and playing more of it, I've definitely seen the upgrade of it, and how well they've polished it and how well they've done from the first Fallen Order to Survivor. I think they've done a really great job, and I really enjoy the game, the exploration part of it. I'm doing a lot more stuff, and I will let go of my hate for the Jedi just for this. And then in terms of TVs and movies, I'm watching a new show. It's Platonic. It's stars Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen. Very so-so show. It has its funny parts, but pretty cool. I do like the Seth Rogen comedy, and I like Rose Byrne. I think she's a great actress. It's basically like a show about Seth Rogen, because I feel like the character he plays is what he is now in real life. So, a Donkey Kong hater can't really do a good voice and all that stuff. But it's a good show. It's on Apple. Check that out. And then I just watched Into the Spider-Verse, which is the first one from the new Spider-Verse movies, again for the third time, because we're going to go tomorrow on Sunday. Nick and I, we will going to go see, well, along with some other people, we're going to go see Across the Spider-Verse. I will be seeing it for the second time. Nick will be seeing it for the first time. So I needed to watch it again and experience it again so I can go in fresh from the first one. So I'm super excited about that.
Yep. Yeah, we also rewatched Into the Spider-Verse in anticipation of watching the sequel tomorrow. My wife was fully engaged watching the movie. I was maybe 50% paying attention because I was playing Diablo as I was watching the movie. So, but I've seen the movie probably 2 or 3 times already. So
this is why I think you're gonna watch it again when we're done watching this one, because they do such a good job of connecting things that I didn't even realize. And that's one of the things that I was thinking about watching the first one again. It's like, how much of this did they have planned out? Because I know they have some. They always envision it as a trilogy. The last one being Beyond the Spider-Verse. So I want to know, like, how much did they have planned out, and we can discuss it probably next week when we can kind of tell everybody what we saw from both.
Cool. All right. It's super exciting. So I think that's pretty much it on movies. It's been pretty heavy on games. I just mentioned Diablo.
We are a gaming podcast.
Yeah. Maybe no surprise there. I just mentioned Diablo. I've been playing that quite a bit. I don't even, what level am I? I'm like 38 level. I don't know if that even means anything to anyone, but.
Well, the one thing I do want to say real quick before you go into your Diablo thing is, like, all the stuff I'm reading online about all these guys and girls doing hardcore runs, and then, like, their level 100 characters get deleted. Oof. I would be so fucking pissed. I wouldn't play the game again.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's been cases where it's been normal gamers, but I feel like with like influencers and Twitch streamers or whatever, like, I'm sure they get pissed, but then they're probably like, all right, well, now I have all this additional content creation that I just need to, like, replay it. So it's like I don't feel too bad for them. But
you really think content creators are out here level 100 permadeathing runs? No, not content creators.
Yeah, of course.
No, I feel like
dude, trust me.
I feel like it's Joe Schmo somewhere.
No. I mean, I'm sure there's just regular ass gamers doing it as well, but you're seeing all of the response to it's been happening fairly regularly, and if it happens to, like, a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, it's going to get a lot of attention. So yeah, it's definitely been happening, like, specifically to big Diablo streamers. So that's a big, for someone who's not a Diablo streamer, that's a big turnoff for me. Not that I would want to do that anyway, but like permadeath. There's just, like, so many cheap ways you can die. Like,
that's the thing.
It's just like
the internet went out, the servers went out, it kicked you out of the game.
Well, even ignoring, like, server, like, just in the game, but then what doesn't help is, just, like, the fact that it's an always online game, and all that type of stuff. So I think they've gotten that feedback. By they I mean the Blizzard developers. They're trying to come up with workarounds where people just don't like lose everything if there's like some sort of server issue or lag or whatever happens. So, but yeah, I'm not at that level. I think there's a similar thing with World of Warcraft where you can play it on hardcore and it's like permadeath and it's same kind of wild shit can happen and you just lose your character.
I would never play the game again, honestly. Like not
Yeah.
that what not that I would never play the game again. I would never permadeath again because I would feel like that would
I don't
piss
know.
me off so much.
I just don't enjoy. Again, like if my full time job was to play Diablo and I just created content around it, like I wouldn't care at all. I would just be like, all right, well, let me just start it again, and now I don't need to I need to think less about my content slate because I'm just going to replay this game a ton. So, but if it's just like me, like I don't think I've ever enjoyed like the permadeath mechanic. Like maybe one example is Fire Emblem, right? Where I think for the longest time, permadeath was the only way. Like that was just the core game mechanic was like your characters just die, and my workaround for that was just save scumming, like I'm
Save
like a
scumming.
mofo, yeah.
Yeah.
Always be save scumming, and then someone dies that I really wanted to keep, I gotta just reset the whole game. And then now I think there's Nintendo's made more flexibility with that, where if you want to have permadeath, great, but if not, also great. So I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy that mechanic at all.
Not for us. That's why we're
Yeah.
not content creators.
Yeah. But no, I've been having a good time. I think I'm really bad at Diablo.
How could you
Like
be
I don't.
bad? You
Yeah.
just kill things.
I'm just running around like there's not that much like I'm a barbarian. I'm just running around and spinning around and killing shit. So I don't know, but it's fun. It's like it's kind of mindless, but it's
Oh yeah, it's Destiny. I mean, Destiny took a lot from it. So I like if I played it, which I'm not because I want to play other shit. I'm not. I would just find some website that has the builds, find a build, and then just do shit.
I
But
found
I'm
a
not.
whirlwind barbarian build, and I've just been tracking along that. And
Yeah. Facts for Life and Eric's on YouTube, they're pretty good for
Yeah.
those RPGs type games. So I usually go over there.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not playing it, I do watch their build videos because they're pretty cool.
yeah, and so I've been mainly playing it solo. We did play it on a game night, and it was a big success. Where pretty easily we were able to get together, do a party. We just run around and hack things up. I think for next week we're gonna be a little bit more structured around like, okay, let's actually have some objective in mind and understand how questing works in co-op because we didn't really figure that out. But no, we've been having a good time. I think that's pretty much it. And then Street Fighter, been dabbling in that. I don't know. Have you been playing that much, or was it really just when we played it on game
No,
night?
I played a bit by myself, but I think because of the Liza P demo and then the Final Fantasy demo, I kind of didn't play as much as the week before. And obviously with the full game release coming next week and me getting back into Jedi Survivor, I think I'm kind of pumping the brakes, but it's going to be more of like, I'll probably watch a lot more videos, which I've been doing to kind of just understand the game better and understand the mechanics better. And I've been watching a lot of our good buddy, well, he's not really our buddy. We would want him to be our buddy. IFC Yipes can opener series on Tuesdays. I've been watching a lot of that and just watching these pro players play and see the moves and all that stuff. But definitely gonna get back into it.
Yeah, the game's not going anywhere. So I think I've kind of done the same where when it first came out, I was like playing it a ton. Now there's just too many other games out right now. So I'm spending more time on them, knowing that I can pick up Street Fighter 6, basically whenever and start playing it more.
And that's where you see the main difference is like with some like Street Fighter, obviously a fighting game versus like another game, is that this one you just have to get good. Like these are the tools. These are the tools. This is what you need to do. Just get good at them. Whereas like Final Fantasy, you got to do a whole story and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of people, when a new fighting game comes out, they're just like grinding the shit out of it so they can get as good as quickly as possible. And I'm never going to be good at this game. Like I just want to have a good time, so I can kind of do that at my own pace, and I'm totally fine with that. So, but I have been playing it a little bit here and there. I think that's really it. I think the biggest takeaway is I haven't played Zelda at all in like well over a week at this point. So I'm almost like feeling like a sense of like guilt that I was playing this game so hard, a couple weeks after launch, and then I haven't touched it. So I'm trying to figure out when the heck I can, because I want to stick with Diablo a little bit more, but then Final Fantasy 16 comes out in 5 days or whatever. I don't know, man. It's
being a gamer is hard.
It's a hard life. So yeah, I haven't played much Zelda. I just got to figure out how to get that back in the schedule. But I mean, I was loving it, right? I mean, I was very, very positive on it. I was just trying to make some space for some of the new stuff that's come out since it launched.
Yeah, my social feeds is either a lot of Zelda, a lot of Diablo, or a lot of Street Fighter, and then now it's ramping up to a lot of Final Fantasy. So it's a good month.
I think what's the next big? So after Final Fantasy 16 comes out, what's the next? Is it Armored Core? I think there's other like good.
You mean big for everybody, or big like where we're gonna be like, oh shit?
Mainly for us.
It's Armored Core.
Okay. So
I know there's a couple things sprinkled in July, and Armored Core is in August. Then like September, October is gonna be bonkers because there's so much shit, which we'll go over in a future episode when we detail the second half of 2023. But the end of the year is looking bonkers too, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think my hope is the month of July I can get all these games done, including Zelda.
I'll have to check the schedule and we'll see, but because I did think I saw something like huge in July. I can't remember what it is.
There's definitely some great games coming out in July. Just nothing's top of mind, but I don't think they're like the juggernaut, game of the year contenders. But
yeah, wow.
I could be wrong.
We're eating good in the game category. Yeah. All right, so that does it for us. Right?
Cool. This was supposed to be a quick episode, and it's just as long as last week's episode.
Yeah, another hour and 20. Hopefully, you like hearing from us. That's why you listen to this podcast. But we appreciate you guys coming in here. Episode 69 in the books. I said that very weird. Make sure you guys are following us on our socials. That way we get more engagement. Go to pressingbuttons.gg so you can get all our links. We appreciate the support. And we thank you for joining us again this week. And we'll see you next week. I'm Hugo. Bye.
I'm Nick. Later.